Yo, welcome to the part 2 of this tutorial. Let's get started. We are going to be making the player because we need the player to obviously create a new scene. Click on the new scene, click on other nodes, search area 2D and click on it. An area node is used for detection and stuff, and that's what we need for our player. Double click to add or click create. Now double click on it and you'll be able to change the name and change it to player. Click on the plus icon to add a child node and a collision shape, so the warning sign will clear. Also add a animated sprite node. Click on the animated sprite, and on the left part of the screen click on frames. Click new frames and click on it again, and a panel will show up at the bottom of Godot. Here we'll be able to add our sprites animations. Click on the default and change it to none. Click on that icon to add another animation and call it destroyed. We'll take care of that later. Head over to our assets folder, click on sprites, scroll down till you see the spaceships, select the one you want and drop it in the num animation like so. Change the current animation to num at the inspector. Yeah, that's what the right part of the Godot is called, an inspector. The ship is too big, so we need to scale it down. Head over to the inspector, transform and scale, change X to 0.3 and Y to 0.5 or anyhow you want. One thing to note in the node hereditary in Godot: if I move a child node, it doesn't affect the parent, but if I move the parent, it affects its children. So anything done to the parents affects all nodes under it. Now let's add a collision shape. Click on the collision shape 2D node at the inspector. By your right, click on shape and select rectangle shape like so, and now adjust it like so. Now a collision shape helps for detecting collision between two objects in space. So if that box thingy collides and that box thingy has a collision and doesn't occur. Now let's save our scene. Press Ctrl S to save, but we need to keep things organized, so we will need to create a new folder and call it so. That's what I call mine, by the way. And now click save. Now let's do some coding. Click on the scroll icon to create a script. We need to move our player when we drag our mouse. Now let's code that. Ignore the variable above, it was a mistake. Now write from process delta and under a set position, which is our player position in a 2D space, equals to get mouse with global position. Remember, the process function runs at every frame, so we are saying Godot should always match our player's position to the mouse position. Run the scene by pressing F6 and let's check it out. As you can see, when I move the mouse, the player moves along with it, always following the mouse. Now we want the player to only follow the mouse when we press and hold left click, and to do that we need to use a conditional code and if statement. As its name implies, it checks conditions. For example, what we want to do is if we click left click, then the player can follow our mouse, but if we don't want the player to follow our mouse. But before we script that, we need Godot to know when we press a left click on our mouse, and there are many ways to do this, but we are going to use the most easy one. So click on the project settings. You see a tab called input map. Click on that. This tab is where we can add input commands or actions, or name them or identify them in Godot. You'll see what I mean in a bit. Click on the action bar there and you'll be able to type your stuff there. Now right, move and press enter or the add button at the right. Now move will be added at the bottom of the list. Now click the plus icon next to move and you'll see different control types like keys for keyboard, joy buttons for controller, joy axis for joysticks maybe, and mouse buttons for our mouse, and that's what we need. Click on that and a window will appear, and at the middle now it's on left button, which is our left click. Now click add and we have added our first input. Now let's make it do stuff under the process function. Right, if input.isAction press move with a column and click enter and it will tab itself. Now put the position code below it. Now input.isAction press means if we press our input, as long as we are pressing our input, keep on running this. And remember, we just set an input move, which is left click. So if we press left click, player position will be equal to our mouse position, else do nothing. So if we run the game now, when we click left, our player will immediately move toward our mouse position and we can move it around. But if we let go of the left click and move, we can't move the player even if we move our mouse. Now it's not ideal to put all your code in the process function for neatness and stuff. So we'll create a new function that handles all our player inputs called get inputs and place our movement code on it. And now you can call functions in another function. So we are going to call the get input function in the process function like so. And that's it. Run the game and everything. That's it for today's guys. Next we are going to work on our asteroids. It's the Astra 100 of game devs day 91. So like this video and subscribe and share for more epic game dev stuff. Peace.